They have played all of the 5 years that Coach Todd Yeagley has been in Bloomington. Before his time at Butler, Butler head coach Paul Snape was an assistant coach at the University of Michigan. Guys, these coaches know each other. They're familiar with each other's coaching strategies. It'll be fun to see how they try to shut each other down here tonight.
Indiana baseball teaming up with the IU Inspire Living Learning Center. Grand Slam for Literacy. We go down to Sarah Beeson for more on that.
Thanks, guys. You might have seen over in right field a hanging banner saying 281,000 plus minutes read. IU baseball teamed up with the IU Living Learning Center to start the Grand Slam for Literacy, a program to motivate local elementary school students to read more. 3 local schools, 342 students participated, received a free ticket to today or tomorrow's game, some of which had the opportunity to stand out on the field for the national anthem and throughout the first pitch. IU baseball making a difference on the field while also making a difference off the field in the community. Back to you, Scott.
You need more production than that from someone like Mascara-Perret.
Absolutely. I mean, his height obviously gives this team something that when he was hurt, they didn't have. They had Hartman, you know, he did pretty well for the team, but having Hunter Mascara-Perret with his size, just they can't compete when he's not on his game even a little bit. And tonight, it just showed. And especially with defense, you know, everyone struggled. It wasn't just Hunter Mascara-Perret, but there were times where Northwestern just walked in. I don't know if they were scared of fouling, but they just walked in, and that's something that's troubling, especially with just 3 guaranteed games, and then who knows. Indiana has a chance at a rematch against Northwestern, who they lost to earlier in the season in Evanston. Come back with a strong performance, holding Trey Demps to single digits. Indiana's season ends by a whistle fest in Omaha, Wichita State converting 29 of 34 free throws. A huge loss for the Indiana Hoosiers in Iowa City this weekend. Not only the 45-29 loss for the record books, but for Nate Sudfeld, who went down in the first half with a shoulder injury. Indiana and Iowa both coming into Tuesday night's game hoping to record their 20th win on the season. After what seemed like a promising run in the opening minutes, the Hoosiers were not able to stop freshman D'Angelo Russell, who scored 22 points, and the Hoosiers gave up 15 turnovers. Struggling on the offensive and defensive boards, the Indiana Hoosiers dropped their second at home on the season. First time that Purdue has swept the Indiana Hoosiers since 2011. Sarah, the real talk today has been Troy Williams. Yes, Yogi Ferrell had 27 points, the 2 3-pointers to put us into overtime. But what did you really see from Troy Williams? It's the midst of Big Ten championship season for winter sports, and we have more on how the Hoosiers are faring later on. The men's basketball team is wrapping up their season this Saturday, but lost to Iowa on Tuesday. Let's take a look at the highlight. Hoosiers taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes in their second-to-last game of the regular season. Second half, James Blackman kicks it out to Yogi Ferrell, who passes it down to Zeisloft, good for the 3. Zeisloft was the leading scorer with 15 points off the bench. The Hawkeyes' Anthony Clemens misses the layup, and Troy Williams, with the rebound, passes it up to Robert Johnson for the 3 to try to get something going late. It's not enough as the Hoosiers fall 77-63. Carly Murata was there and has more. On Sunday, Yogi Ferrell announced that he will return for his senior year at Indiana University. Ferrell was 6th in scoring this past season in the Big Ten with 16.3 points per game and finished 4th in assists. They're on the road yet again this weekend at the Snowbird Baseball Classic in Port Charlotte, Florida. Outfielder Logan Sowers was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week after batting a team-high 4 hits the past weekend. Sowers is Indiana's first Freshman of the Week's winner since 2013. I am now joined in studio with the voice of IU softball, Will Chuckerman. Will, thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Supposed to be at home for the Indiana Classic this weekend. It gets canceled due to the snow. Where to next? And you sort of brought up the freshman class, 8 of them. What are they bringing to the field thus far this season? Over the weekend, the Hoosiers won 2 out of 3 contests as the Michigan State Spartans visited Bloomington. IU scored a season-high 16 runs in the first game and another 10 runs on Sunday for Senior Day at Andy Moore Field. The team is currently 7-11 in conference play as they wrap up their regular season this weekend in Columbus.
IU Athletics held a groundbreaking ceremony Tuesday to officially announce the renovations to the new Simon Scott Assembly Hall, which was put in motion after a generous $40 million donation from the Simon Scott family. The name change was pitched as gratitude to Cindy Simon Scott, an IU grad, but not all IU fans are looking forward to that change.
I understand the reason for the name change because it's how you have to do with sponsorship. When someone donates that kind of money, you have to reward those people.
The last time IU basketball underwent a change was after Bob Knight was fired, when advertisements and sponsorships started being used on the marquee board and the Jumbotron.
Surely the renovations to Simon Scott Assembly Hall will improve fan experience, but some fans are more concerned about keeping the traditions of the original Assembly Hall intact.
As far as the tradition goes, it's kind of like the names on the back of the jerseys. It's just a tradition. And the candy stripe pants, all of that is a tradition. So it's really hard to break.
Social media has been the easiest way for fans to voice their opinions, as many have tweeted their dislike for the name change.
And I know a lot of diehard people are going to be bent out of shape because we're making these changes, but you've got to change with the times.
In the end, the renovations are solely to better the fan experience in Assembly Hall, which hasn't been upgraded since it was built in 1971. Many new amenities of the Simon Scott Assembly Hall include suites, an interactive fan experience in the south entrance to be named Ken Nunn Atrium, new bathrooms, and added concession stands.
It's going to be a real positive experience for everyone.
The renovations are set to be completed by the start of the season in 2016. For IU Newsnet, I'm Sarah Beeson.